Hey, it's time to dish with D. That's me. It is Saturday, and you know that is time for my version of the WW Weekly Topic and my weigh-in. My weigh-in was okay. It was not the best week. Too much, almonds covered in chocolate. I'll admit that I had a whole pound. I'm Denise, and I had a pound of almonds, chocolate covered. So the scale was up 0.2. Hey, that to me is a win considering I had a whole pound of almonds covered in chocolate. Why, you ask? Don't know. Honestly, don't care. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I own what I eat. Let's move on. Not much you can say about it. So let us deal with the topic du jour. Now, remember, you can find your reading topics in your Weight Watchers app or online at the Weight Watchers or your app online. You know what I'm going to say. That's where I'm reading it. They used to email it. I don't see it in emails often, but it's definitely on your app, which is fine. You don't really need to email it. Ready to get stronger? Here's how. Oh, I can't imagine. This is going to be about exercise. I got that stinking feeling. Remember, I don't look at this topic before I come on here. Why? Because you get it right off the cuff. I feel if I try to prepare, then I don't want to look robotic and just, I want to act like I'm learning it just as much as you're learning it. All right. Got my tea because try this. Yeah, it's that kind of morning. Find a strength training activity. No, that doesn't just mean lifting weights. Try based around you. Then plan when and what you need to make this happen. This is not going to be my topic. We know this. We know this right out of the get-go because when I saw that little weight thing, I don't do weights. All right. But we all can learn, right? 1, 2, and 3. 1, I'm super new to strength training. Or 2, I've dabbled in strength training. Or 3, I'm all about strength training. Well, I would be 0 because I wouldn't even say I'm super new because I don't even do it. So there's got to be a 0, and they don't have that. One should not be I'm super new because let's face it, how many of us do strength training? I think there's more of us that don't do it that do it. And not there's anything wrong with people who do or people who don't. It's just might not be your thing. All right, if you're new to strength training, try Aptive. I think it's Active. Let's get words out. Start getting super strong classes. If you've dabbled in it, try Gabriel's Union on Fit On's 20-minute total body class. Or if you're super into strength training, work with the entire body with Fit On's full body functional strength. What about us who don't dabble at all? There's no place for that. I don't have gear. Do you brush your teeth? Great. You've got time to sneak in a few quick hit move. Maybe I don't want to. Do you have a chair? You can work with simple seated exercises. You'll look at the stairs in a whole new way after setting a timer for 5 minutes and see how many flights you can climb. I already know how many flights I can climb. In how many times? 5 minutes? I could probably do several because take a break between. I'm geared up for the challenge. Make planks your friend with a 30-day challenge for a stronger core. A 30-day push-up challenge will definitely work. So the medium people should go for the 30-day push-up challenge, and the intermediate people should tone up with your body with a 30-day strength training exercise. I just don't like this topic. See, I'm all about what if the person doesn't do none of these. I am not even dabbling. Where's my advice? Well, I got you covered there because I do dabble, but people that don't dabble, don't feel bad about this topic because you can get your type of exercise and what you're ready for. I mean, nobody's ready for a lot of this stuff. You have a lot of weight, you can't move. I know this. Why? Because I had a lot of weight. Even walking was a challenge. I would get winded walking to and from my car. I would get winded walking from my chair to the kitchen. I would get winded just getting up. So how does that person do this? Well, they keep doing it. They keep walking from the chair to the bathroom. They keep walking from their house to their car. They keep doing it. but they're doing it while they're following a weight loss plan. And slow and sure, the weight comes off, and you'll notice that I can get to my car and not be out of breath. I could walk from one place to the other and not get out of breath. Maybe then we could park a little further away and walk a little further. That's what I started doing. I started parking, like, especially in the store. Like, some of us would park and grab a cart because we needed to hold on to that cart, because if we didn't hold on to that cart, we were going to collapse. But eventually, you could start parking further and further away from that cart. So you have to walk a little bit more to get to that cart. I'm not going to tell you to give up the cart, because if you need the cart, you need the cart. Say, I like Weight Watchers. I know. I feel you. I got you, because it was me. And I know that it's just not so simple as saying that. It's not so simple as just saying that. There's a lot more involved. And you get depressed, you get frustrated, and then you don't do anything. So where's that on here? It's not. So I'm here to deal with the people that are frustrated and, because we just can't do it. We can't do simple things because of our weight. And is that sad? Absolutely. When I thought about it, I sat there thinking, I'm out of breath and I'm not doing anything that's that exerting. I kind of got depressed about it because I was, in my late 40s, and I should be able to do certain things. I shouldn't be out of breath going from one room to the other. I shouldn't be out of breath walking from my car to school, walking from my car to the store. I shouldn't. I was too young for that, and I thought, well, I'm doing this because I'm carrying 100 pounds of extra weight. If I tried to carry that 100 pounds now, like give me a sack of potatoes that costs weighs 100 pounds, I probably couldn't do it. And yet I walked around with it because you just kind of get used to that, and it's kind of all spread out. I get that. But it's still, I would probably be out of breath now carrying this 100 pounds. So to me, we have to get some of that weight off before we attempt any of these. And I may be the only one that says that. You need to want to do something, and because you need to be able to do it. The more you'll be able to do it, the more you'll want to do it. It all kind of works. If you can't do it, it's depressing to try because you just get so frustrated. Frustration leads to a lot of other things. Frustration, that's a hard one. You get frustrated because you can't do it. And yet they're telling me to do it. Why can't I do it? Because you can't. You're just not capable. And it's, is it your fault? Yeah, I guess it is, because you have the weight. I had the weight. It was my fault. I can't blame anybody else but me. I caused my weight issue. I ate. I didn't move enough. I let it happen. And when I kind of thought about that, it kind of made me more sad because, but in the end, we allowed it. We allowed that food to go in our mouths and swallow it. I allowed the emotions to take over. I allowed the boredom to take over. Instead of doing something, instead of eating, this is what I could have done, I didn't. And do I regret that now? Sure. In hindsight's 2020. If we could live our lives over again, the things we think we would do differently, and odds are we probably wouldn't. I love the people that say, "Oh, if I'd lived," no, you wouldn't do it over again. You wouldn't. As much as you think you would, because you know it all, you don't go into life knowing anything, and that's the problem. So you can't sit there and say, "Well, if I do it over again," no, you really wouldn't. Like for me, that's why I own every food I eat, and if I could say, "Well, if I had that week to live over again, I wouldn't eat it." No, I would, because I ate it for a reason, and that reason will still be there, and it's a justifiable, in my mind, reason to have eaten it. I don't want to be that person that just says, well, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I would do it again. I admit that I'm a flawed human, and yeah, I would make those same mistakes again. But now that I know, I can correct it, because there's still time to correct it. That's the good news. There's still time to make it better. There is still time. You're not out of time yet. You may feel like you're out of time. You may feel exhausted and just overwhelmed, but you're not out of time. You still have time. You still have time to make corrections. And I'm not saying big corrections. I'm not saying go out there and do what they're telling you. I'm saying start small. Work up to it. You have to follow the plan, you have to get the weight off, and you have to move more. There are the three things that you have to do. You have to decide how and when and where and how much you want to do. Everybody's different. Some people have a little bit more, tolerance than other people. Some people just can't. That doesn't mean you never can. It just means right now you have to take it a little bit slower than somebody else. So this whole topic's going totally the right direction, but the wrong direction for Weight Watchers because it's so out of their league. As typical, they're dealing with people. Which what I find with Weight Watchers is they deal with people who've already lost. Yet they don't talk about maintenance, but these topics are basically for maintenance people or people that have most of their weight off. I'm dealing with the person that's at the beginning of their journey. That's who I want to hit. I want to hit the person who's sitting there at home crying because they can't get motivated, crying because they're upset, crying because they can't move, and crying because they have no energy. I'm here to say, yes, you're going to have to lose weight. Bottom line, you have to take the weight off. But I will tell you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel may seem so dark and so deep that you can't see the light, but there is a light. And when you see that light, that's when you start moving, because you can. You will feel so much better because when you're able to do something, you want to do more. And that is, the hope I want to give you, that, yeah, eventually it will help. It will get there. You got to put the work in with the food. You got to cut back on the points, the calories, the fats, the sugars. Those are things we have to eat less of. And then eventually you could start moving more. But in the beginning, if you got over 100 pounds to lose and you got legs the size of tree trunks, I totally get that. And yeah, you're not going to be able to move for quite a while, but eventually you're going to feel it, and you're going to feel more motivated, and you're going to be able to move more. And the more you can move, the more you will move. It's just, it all comes because you're going to start to feel better. And when you feel better, you want to do more. That's just in a nutshell. So let's continue with this hot mess topic. I have gear and I'm super strength trained. Yeah, we already read that one. Find an active workout in the WW app. So for the people that are in, a different phase in the beginner, yes, there is definitely stuff in your app that you can use. There's 2-minute classes, there's seated exercises, there's chair exercises, there's a 30-day plank challenge. There's the Fit On classes on the WW app. So you're paying for that. So if you're in that, next tier, the one that they're not dealing with, the good tier, the tier that you're ready to go, then hit that app. That's what you pay for. When people tell me that the app has too many things on it, I'm sitting there going, you're paying $20 a month. That sucker better have bells and whistles. It almost make me dinner. But yeah, I am thrilled at that app. Do I use everything on there? No. But I could if I wanted to, but I would never sit there and say that app has too many things. When people say that, I go, you gotta be kidding me. You're complaining because there's too much on there? Yeah. 30-day strength training. All right, let's dive a little deeper. Figure out what strength training activity is right for you. It's all about what you like and what your comfort level is. Bingo. Once you've narrowed it down, planning when and what you'll need to get active makes you more likely to stick with it. Pick something. Maybe you won't like anything. If you're like me, I don't like much of anything that has to do with the word exercise. I just don't. But some of these things, if you don't know, you should try them. You don't know unless you try. I mean, I'm one of them. I should go on here. Maybe I will this week. Maybe I'll, put my mouth where my money is. And do that. Keep in mind, staying engaged by varying workouts. Don't love the one you've tried, give another one a chance. Dumbbells aren't the only way to get stronger. Resistance bands and your own body weight also works well. Walking is a weight-bearing activity. People poo-poof walking, people poo-poof steps. They're weight-bearing. Let's repeat after me. They're weight-bearing activities. They're weight-bearing activities. So if you're getting your steps in, you're doing a weight-bearing activity, especially if you've got like over 50 pounds to lose and you're walking on that. That's 50 pounds of resistance you have on there. Can't get any better than that in my world. Slowly increase the reps or weights over time. You can show how you've progressed and prevent injuries. On the wins, I believe it's still there. I haven't seen it, but if you go to the WW wins with your points, they have resistance bands. So check those out. I got resistance bands in my calls box. Spring calls box, so I have those to use. So I use my son's old resistance bands when he had a torn rotator cuff surgery. So he had bands he had exercise with, so I use them. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised what you find around the house you could use. But if you have wins, check out, you might want to get those. All right. This is going to be several series. This gets stronger, so be prepared for weeks of me being like, really? What's the recipe this week? Grilled buffalo wings. Let me tell you something. You could, if you take the skin off your wings and you put them in the air fryer, you could really reduce the points. They're fabulous. Or even if you don't take the skin off, even say you just need a skin Still, if you air fry it, there's no fat on it, except the skin. And they come out fantastic and crispy. And you could toss them in hot sauce. Yeah, so here's this is giving you 3 pieces of wings for 3 points on all plans. So I guess they're, not sure why they're 3 points. I guess it's because wings are considered dark meat, maybe? 1 pound of skinless bone-in chicken wings separated into drumettes and flats. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're, because they're tossed in butter and honey, but why would they be the same? I guess because they're wings. But I would do, honestly, I would take the skin off of them and air fry them. Toss them in a little, dry rub. Or do tenders. Air fry tenders with a dry rub. Dunk them in a little hot sauce. It's just as good. To me, I tell you this all the time. It might not be the same, but is it good enough? It's got to be good enough. And if it hits that note, then you're fine. It's never going to taste the same. And I'm okay with that. I go for, is it good enough? I say that all the time. Is it good enough? And you can say, yeah, it's good enough. That's all you're looking for because it hits the note of a buffalo wing. The tenders, you can cut them in half, make them even a little bit thinner if you wanted. But do them in a dry rub. It's like paprika, garlic. What else can we put in there? Paprika, onion powder, of course, because onion powder is in everything. Maybe a little chili powder. And maybe a little brown monk fruit. A little bit. And then you air fry them. Just watch because the monk fruit will make it burn, but not a lot. And then you make your hot sauce. You can do it says honey and butter and hot sauce. Now, I would use honey or butter. I don't think I would use both, quite honestly. I would just do the honey because I love a sweet hot wing and then this hot sauce. Honestly, what's the points of that? Just saying. You can use the imitation honey and really save points because you're really looking for the flavor and the stickiness, and the imitation does that. It's a great thing. But that is a hot mess topic that, I'm really not happy with this week as usual. I just don't feel they address everybody equally. They sit there to sound super new strength training. What about I have no idea what strength training is? That would have been a nice choice, but it wasn't. And that kind of bums me out. But I had to cover because why? Because I don't do strength training. I'm trying to do a little bit more now. It's not my thing. I will sit there and tell you, it's not my thing. I'm not into building muscle. Honestly, I don't. I don't want muscle. I just want, you want to tone up this flab? Yeah, I do. But when you tone up flab, you build muscle. It's kind of like, there's no other way to do it. You don't tone up the flab and it disappears. Either stays flab or it goes to muscle. There's no in between. So, is what it is. But I hope you enjoyed this week's topic. I hope you got something from it. And if you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know how you did this week on the scale in the comment section below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, there is a subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the Dish with D community. I go live a lot. I do fun hauls. I do inspirational vlogs. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I believe there's a link in the description box. I don't know. I'll have to check. If not, it's dish_with_D on Instagram. I post there a lot. I post what I eat in a day there, or what I eat during the meal, and I post it up there. I do tastings there. I do taste tests because somebody has to taste the food, and why not me? I take one for the team. So check me out on Instagram. You should follow me there. I have a Facebook group. You should follow me there or join in. I do a lot of the posts on Instagram on the Facebook group, Dish with D's Crew. I know there's a link for that in the description box below. Come join, be part of the Dish with D community. It's a happening place. You know what? You never know what's going to happen there because I don't even know what's going to happen there. So if I don't know, who knows? But thank you for joining me. If you know anyone that could benefit from my content, there is a share button right down there. You hit that share, it gives you a link, and you can share on a Facebook page, in a Zoom meeting, on an email, on a text message. Anybody you think, hey, this nut job is pretty fun, and I think you would get a lot out of her. I call myself a nut job. It's okay. But yes, share my channel. I would love to have everybody as part of the community because that's what makes the world go around. You need a community, and Dish with D is here for you. So we will talk another day, and bye-bye, folks. Have a great rest of your day.